kingpin of the drug world.
Drug entrepreneur.
Drug businessman.
Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg podcast.
Hey, guys.
We're back.
We are back again.
How are you doing, Daniel?
Fantastic. We're doing just great today.
A little bit of a stressful moment.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Just having some issues.
With your business.
With my business.
With your new business. You be a businessman.
I'll be an entrepreneur.
I know. It's not all that's cracked up to be, is it, Daniel?
I know. I just like... yeah.
There's issues, but it's all good. I feel like it's going to be fixed. Mercury is no longer in retrograde.
Well, it's in retrograde for me right now, Rose. I'll tell you that much. Fucking hell.
But yeah. No Patreon shout outs today, but if you guys want to join Patreon, it is patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Mm-hmm.
And for as little as just $3 a month, you can get a bonus episode only for the Patreon members, and every episode ad free and earlier than everybody else. Yep. So make sure you join and enjoy.
Yes, guys. So shall we just dive right in?
I guess so.
Because I feel like it's just it's a moment, you know?
Well, Daniel's having a little bit of it's my favorite Daniel today.
It is.
A little bit grumpy, a little stressed. It's my favorite.
Well, as we would say, remember, like, gay guys can't be bitchy. We're just sassy. Okay, so.
Exactly. If I behave this way, I would be called bitchy.
Yeah, but I'm behaving this way, and you're just like, oh, Daniel's so sassy, you know? You're like, he's a little bitch.
Okay, so, I mean, I thought this was like, okay, do you know much about the Birkin?
All I know about the Birkin, okay?
Okay, because you don't know anything about this world.
First of all, the Birkin's fucking bullshit. Because this is because like the Birkin is that bag that's like, you know, they have special like limited edition Birkins that are like fucking $250,000.
It's very expensive.
Like it's the biggest load of like, it's like who needs to carry around a $250,000 purse?
This is why I knew you'd love the story. Well, do you know so basically it's named after a person. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
And that person has recently passed away. Her name is Jane Birkin.
Okay.
And basically, the story goes something like this. So, essentially, okay, so the Birkin, I agree. It's bullshit. Yeah. It's made by Hermes. It's extremely expensive, and I think you have to actually be invited to purchase it.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like very...
It's so exclusive.
Yeah.
And rich people love exclusive things.
Oh, yeah. If there's anything that like really rich people love, it's like having something that nobody else can get, or it's really hard to get.
Exactly.
You know, like, ooh, yeah, I got the latest Birkin, the Hermes Birkin, and it was 250,000 USD, but unfortunately, you have the money for it, but you can't get it because you have to be invited, Rose. You'd be like, fuck you.
Did you say I have the money for it? God damn, Daniel. Maybe if I took out loans. Lord Jesus.
No, I was meaning like if we were both like super rich and I like happened to get invited.
Yes, you still have to have a prestigious,
Exactly. It's kind of like the Met Gala or something.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started on the Met Gala.
Yeah.
But, people just eat it up. I think that's what's so, fascinating about it.
I just really don't care.
And have you seen the bag? It's like the most basic ass looking bag I've ever seen.
Is it as bad as those bags that we saw in Vancouver?
No, no, because those bags were just ugly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a Birkin is necessarily ugly.
Yeah.
But let me just show you what it looks like.
Yeah, show me a picture.
It's just a bag. Like.
And just for context, guys, when me and Rose were in Vancouver, we went to I think it was Nordstrom closing or whatever.
How many bags have you seen that look like this?
A bazillion.
Exactly.
They look like just a regular bag that people have from like Matt and Nat or something, Or,
Matt and Nat probably make something similar to this.
Exactly.
But it's not the Birkin.
It's not the Birkin. But just for some context, guys, when me and Rose were in Vancouver, we went to the Nordstrom store that's like closing down, I guess, in Canada. And we just like were strolling through looking at things. And I love to go to these places and just look at price tags.
Because it fascinates you to see how expensive things are.
I mean, it just blows my mind. There was literally, and I'm not going to make fun of Rose's pillow because it's a beautiful pillow, but imagine it was like some kind of really weird, not weird, but like kind of something you'd see maybe like in your grandmother's house or something, like lots of floral and like kind of weird colors and with a handle.
And it was a literal pillow.
It looked like a fucking pillow, guys, and it was a purse, and
I
it was
forgot
like
how much it was.
I want to say it was like $3,900 or something ridiculous like that. And both of us were just like, "It's a fucking pillow."
It was a fucking pillow.
Yeah.
Again, guys, what do I always say in every episode? Tax the rich. People don't know what to do with their money.
I know they're just like they're so bored and so like whatever that they have to get this stuff. And I'm just like, what?
And also, I mean, it is very true that money does not buy you class and it does not buy you style.
That's true.
Because so many people, they just think they're rich, so they just need to just put on designer and then they're like stylish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that is not a testament of you being able to dress well if you just put on designer clothing.
Exactly.
Okay? It doesn't look good. Okay? Yeah. Anyway, so the Birkin. This is the story of the Birkin.
Tell us more about this Birkin.
So Jane Birkin, who I think was like a singer or something, British singer, I don't know. Okay. And I guess she was on an airplane, okay? So she was upgraded by Air France on a flight to London, and she was sitting next to a man who was basically Jean-Louis Dumas of Hermès, okay? So he's a visionary of Hermès.
Yeah.
And basically she had this like bag, and I guess like things were falling out of her bag that she had. So not a very practical bag.
Yeah.
And then the man next to her said, "You should have one with pockets." And then I said, "The day Hermès makes one with pockets, I will have that." Like, and he said, "But I am Hermès, and I will put pockets in it for you." I want to talk about the story just because I want to see your face. Like this is rich people talk, okay? Mm-hmm. And then she said, "Why don't you make a handbag that is bigger than the Kelly but smaller than Serge's suitcase?" I guess these are like iconic Hermès bags, which I don't know anything about. And he said, "Well, what would it be like?" And then basically she like, I guess she kind of like drew a design.
Yeah.
And basically gave it to him and he was like, "I'll make it." And that is how the Birkin came to be. And I think she got like annual royalty of $30,000 in 2011. Doesn't seem enough.
It does not seem like.
But anyway, I mean, maybe in 2011, I don't know how much. Like basically, it's more and more expensive now.
Yeah, some people do like kind of justify, or they say like, I'm buying this for an investment. You know what I mean? Like the purses.
That is the justification.
Yeah, because actually a lot of these purses, guys, is like, as much as I hate to say that they're fucking ridiculous because of how expensive they are, like a lot of them.
You love to say it.
I love to say it, but like a lot of them do hold value. Like people are buying these. Like I've heard of people buy like a Louis Vuitton's another example where they bought it and like 10 years ago maybe a Louis Vuitton purse was like $1,000 and everyone's like, oh my god, it's so expensive. Now it's like $5,000. You know what I mean? Like there's like and if you were to resell
even if you've used it though,
right? I think so. As long as it's in
somewhat
decent
good condition.
Yeah. I think it has to be in relatively good condition.
Right. So basically the Birkin is supposed to be kind of, this is what I heard, okay? It's supposed to be just kind of carried around, like you throw shit in there. It's like an actual everyday bag. And I'm like, girl, I'm not paying $250,000 and like throwing shit into it.
I know. If I owned something that I could carry around that was $250,000, it probably wouldn't leave my house.
Exactly.
I'm not taking this shit. If it gets stolen.
But that's why they're like, oh, this is a sign of true wealth because you don't actually care. Like, as in, not that you don't care, but the fact that you're able to just like use it and abuse it. It's a sign of true wealth. Whereas if you were just someone that bought it for clout, then you would be afraid to use it. Anyway, it's all made of leather and it's all fucking cruel. So fuck it, all of it.
Yeah.
I would rather get something from Matt and Nat.
Yes. Mm-hmm. For like a fraction of the cost. Mm-hmm. Probably functions better. And if it gets stolen, you can just get another one.
Exactly.
And it's cruelty free.
It's cruelty free. Exactly.
Yeah. So
anyway, R.I.P. Jane Birkin.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about her.
I also wonder how much like truth there is to these like, I drew my design on a sick bag I happened to be sat next to the Hermès owner.
A sick bag. I was trying to understand what a sick bag was. Like a
sick.
literal, like when you're getting sick on an airplane.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. So she
God.
took that out and drew it.
Right. Kind of like, you know how J.K. Rowling, she wrote the Harry Potter books on a napkin in a cafe in London, you know?
Yeah.
Like, is it true?
Yeah. I'm like, really? You must have needed a lot of napkins, girl. Because that's a novel. I know. It's like, I wonder.
What's the most you would pay for, like, well, I guess you're a man, but, you know, a man bag?
Like a nice one. Like if it was like something to add to my like wardrobe or something, like I would maybe spend like up to, and this is like max probably, maybe around $500.
Yeah.
I think that's a good amount where it's like, you know, it's a little bit nicer, you know, it's like adding to my wardrobe or whatever. But anything more than that, and I start to think to myself, I'm like, oh God, like, because even $500, I'm like, that's a flight somewhere.
Yeah, and you can get a really nice, good quality bag. You know, because the thing is, people are always like, oh, but it's about the quality. It's not about the quality, bitch. Okay, it is not about the fucking quality. It is about how it's a brand name and it's a label, and people are obsessed with the status that comes with it. 100%. That's what you're paying the thousands for. Exactly. Maybe quality goes a few $100s. Yeah. Okay, if you're paying for, you know, obviously people to make the bag and they're not using sweatshops or whatever. But beyond like a few $100s, you are paying for status and status only.
I think you're right. I think there's like, and I could be wrong about this, but I think there's like a threshold, right? Yeah. Like there's a certain amount where the amount that you're paying is for additional quality. And then there's a point that you hit with like everything, right? Yeah. Like electronics, everything that you're buying. There's a point that you hit where it's like the quality is probably the best you're going to get. Yeah. And you can't really get much higher. And then it becomes brand.
Exactly.
And brand recognition and everything that comes with that. And I think like, I don't know. For me personally, I just don't. I just couldn't justify. Like I
know,
and probably because I'm not that wealthy, so I couldn't justify spending $250,000 on anything. You know?
Damn, I wonder how much it actually is. Is it? I think it is around.
There's one. Well, not all of them. I think there's different ones. So like.
Oh yeah, like there's different styles.
There's different styles, and some of them are cheaper, like a little bit. You know, some of them are more affordable.
Some
around
of them
20,
are just 100,000.
So I think there's a couple that are like $25,000-$30,000. But it ranges. Like, and there's some.
The bags typically cost $8,000 for a mini. I didn't know that. Okay, well, we could get one, Daniel. I'm just kidding. And up to $30,000 and beyond for more exotic fabrics and designs. Meanwhile, on the secondhand market, the most common Birkin, blah blah blah, sells between $16,000 to $24,000 in very good to excellent condition.
Yeah, there are some that I saw recently. There's like a new Birkin or something that was $250,000. I swear to God, it was $250,000.
No, I believe you. I think like I don't know anything about this. Okay, clearly we're not the target market. Okay.
God damn, you getting something's going on. The professionalism.
Damn. Speaking of rich people that don't know what to do with their money, next story. Yeah. Apple iPhone from 2007 sells for $190,000.
Before we go into it, was it the classic iPhone 4?
This must be the first iPhone. Because it's 2007.
No, because 2007, is it the first one?
Well, let's see. Okay. It says the first edition. Okay, basically, usually iPhones plummet in value as soon as you take them out of the shop. Yeah. But there are some special cases as seen as an auction in the US where a first edition unopened 4 gigabyte model. So yes, the first iPhone. And 2007 makes sense because that's when, I think it makes sense because that's when we graduated, high school? And that's kind of when iPhone came out, I think.
I graduated 2006, Rose.
Yeah. Okay, well, some of us graduated later. Anyway, it sold for $190,000 US. For what reason?
What is the purpose?
People don't know what to do with their money.
What is the purpose of it, though? I don't understand.
Okay, I guess this is like called a holy grail by iPhone collectors. Why do you collect iPhones? What do you think about like collecting things? Just in general. People have this thing like collecting cards, fucking game, like Pokemon cards and whatever game cards are like thousands of dollars.
As someone that was a collector myself.
What did you collect?
Well, I had like an animal figurine collection.
That's kind of cute.
I had like when I was little, I used to like love animal figurines. So I have shitloads of. I still have them.
Okay,
but I don't use them.
But it's not like
It was more like toys to play with though, and like collecting and that kind of stuff.
I think that's cute.
And I used to, those little phone charms, the like Winnie the Poohs.
Yes, I think
I have a bunch of those.
I used to collect those too.
Yeah, but I kind of grew out of it. Like
I know.
I think now I guess everyone's different, right? Like some people that gives them some sort of joy to collect,
I guess.
iPhones or whatever. But like from my perspective, like I don't really, there's nothing that I think of in my house. I'm like, I'm collecting this because I just get stuff that's functional. Like I need, like if I need I'm not going to collect a laptop or a phone. I'm going to like, if my phone is having issues, which it is, eventually I'll get a new one, like, so I don't know. I think especially as you get older, you just like realize that like all of those like things don't
material
really mean
things.
that much.
Exactly.
Like
totally.
I'd rather be a little bit more minimalist.
I mean, that's always what I aspire to be, but I've been called a maximalist.
Well, I can just take a look around this room and tell you. You're
I have a lot of things.
But you also get sent a lot of stuff, right? So it's a little different.
sent a lot of stuff. That's one of my justifications. I also run a business out of this home. That's another one of my justifications. Yeah. Most things in here are for, the business. Work, and they are all functional. Yeah. These lights are functional. I got my other lights that are functional. My tripods. I use my treadmill every day. Yep. I have a fridge that was sent to me.
A piano that Rose plays.
Piano, which I haven't played for a long time.
And yes, desk. Guys, this is all in one room.
And a couch.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be a guest bedroom, but nobody comes to visit me. So
what are you going to do when you have a guest, Rose?
I'll figure it out, Daniel. God dang. Well, this is a pull-out couch.
That's true. You'll have to organize like some stuff here and
exactly.
Sort it out. It works.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I guess you can't fault people for having hobbies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, the world's burning down.
I don't know. I just think like, especially now, like just getting something to add to a collection, it just brings you like not any like joy.
What are you getting out of this?
Like it's like a second, like 2 seconds, you feel like amazing, and then after that, it's kind of like loses it. You're like, okay, cool.
It's exactly what it is. It's this like momentary dopamine hit or whatever, I guess, and then what? Like what?
But they say some people like, so for example, I would argue that we collect experiences.
Yes, but that's more, it actually adds more happiness.
Yeah, while other people may collect items.
But it has been shown, I think they've actually studied that collecting experiences or spending money on experiences lead to a lot more of a fulfilled life.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, like in my house, I have a few like neat little things like knickknacks and things like that.
Did it cost $190,000? No. That's like an apartment. Bruh.
That is. I mean, my house was not that much more than that.
Oh my Lord.
Like that's insane.
Yeah, I don't understand. And like this is just, just one example, but obviously people that are like, that collect art and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They're spending millions of dollars.
And like the thing is, especially with like an iPhone, the original iPhone.
At least with art.
Yeah, it's like.
Maybe they think the original iPhone is art.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody does. But it has like, you wouldn't even be able to run probably any of the apps.
No, you can't because all the it's too outdated.
Yeah, the software
wouldn't. Yeah.
So it's like you're literally buying a piece of machinery that's not functional. Yes. Like that's what you are doing. Because at least with art, I think. I mean, again,
art is also we roll our eyes at some of it.
Yeah, art is also like crazy. The amounts that people pay for it and stuff. Like honestly, I went to Value Village the other day, guys, and bought a ton of really cool like paintings and things like that. And each of them were like $5. Like,
well, it wasn't drawn by Picasso.
That's true. But you know what? Fine, it is what it is. I like it. It looks cool in my house.
Exactly. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we just maybe we're just not cultured enough to understand. I know. Like what kills me is that again, it's just so. It's just on the other hand, people are starving. Like it's just so extreme.
Do you remember when they? God, I can't remember if it was like an app or like a sticker that you could put on your iPhone, and it was like super expensive. It was like a red circle or a red something. I can't remember what it was called, guys. But essentially, it was like super expensive to get this, or maybe it was an app. I can't remember, but like it was quite expensive to get it. Like it was a couple $1,000s, and people were, and it didn't really serve any purpose other than for people to see that you have money. Because let me see if I can find an article about it, because it was like it was short lived. Let me find it. No, that's not it. I will find it. Because it was like a weird thing where only like a certain people would buy it. It's just to show like, hey, I got money, I can buy this.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's just so stupid.
But you're right. Like when you look at like our world and what's going on right now, and like the global, issues. We haven't. And people buying iPhones for $190,000.
An old iPhone that doesn't do anything.
That doesn't even function any purpose. And there's people that can't even that don't have a roof over their heads.
It's just like, and I just picture myself. It's like they are actually at an auction. Imagine physically going to an auction and you have this room full of people that literally have nothing better to do than bid on an old ass iPhone that doesn't do anything.
It's wild.
Like, you literally took time out of your day and $190,000 to sit in a room and bid for an iPhone 1. Like, you are not cool, mister. Like, I'm not impressed with that use of time and money and energy.
Like, I was talking to a man and he was like, yeah, I got the original iPhone. I got it displayed on a wall. I paid $190,000. I was like, okay, see you later.
Yeah, okay. You clearly don't know how to spend your money properly. Anyway, speaking of extreme wealth, once again, another story tied to extreme wealth.
Damn, Rose, you're very on this trend today, aren't you?
Well, eat the rich, as they
eat the
say.
rich. I just again, I know we're making fun of this a little bit and we're saying, hey, or not making fun of this, but like saying like people that have this kind of wealth that are just like kind of spending on bullshit things, like really bullshit things. I saw this one show where they were like, it was like the lifestyles of the extreme rich and famous. And one of the things that
lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
Exactly. They're always complaining.
Always complaining.
But basically, there was this type of like salmon that these rich people would buy, some type of fish. And as it was smoked, the salmon, there was an opera singer that would like sing to the salmon because it was a special kind of like salmon that got sung to. And I was like,
oh my God, that reminds me of the menu.
Oh, the menu's a perfect example of this stuff. And it's like, I get it. I think a big part of the problem, it's not just the rich people, right? That's part of it. But like a big part of the problem is that the society that we exist in that allows people to amass as much of the questions we should be asking is, why do we as a society allow that to happen?
Yes. And why do we idolize it
exactly
as well?
That's another thing too. Like, why is there this big idolization of it's because, and I feel like the main reason why people idolize it is like, if you think about it, if you have a lot of money, you really can do what you want. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what people want in life. They're like, I want that. I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want to do, go on all the trips and do all the bougie things. And that's why people look up to it. But it's just, it's
I know
these levels of wealth and how we've let people, like there's people that have more wealth
just
than countries.
Hoarding it.
Yeah.
They're just hoarding. And like, they don't even know where it is half the time.
I know that they don't even know where half their assets are.
My God.
Yeah.
Like, remember, did you ever watch Narcos?
I started watching it.
You just started watching Narcos, the one with Pablo Escobar.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's fucking iconic. That show. I was like obsessed. I didn't watch the Mexico version, but I watched the Pablo Escobar.
I think I'm in season 2. I think
I'm shocked you haven't watched it till now.
I know. I should watch it all.
Anyway, you definitely watch it all.
Yeah.
But basically, like, because Pablo Escobar was like that huge drug trafficker, drug dealer, whatever. Like, what do you call him? Drug lord. Kingpin of the drug world.
Drug entrepreneur.
Drug businessman. And he was obviously huge. He was like, I think, richest man in the world at some point.
He is, and always will be, but I think he
is still,
if you like change his money to be like today's terms.
Right. At that moment.
At one point, he was running like the largest drug trade in the world. He was like, he was a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
In drug trade.
So, but the issue with him was that obviously he was doing it illegally, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, because, that's illegal. But he would have, like, he didn't even know where half his money was, like literally, because they would hide it in places, because it's all like in cash.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine?
No, and it's like,
at that point, it's like,
how do you even keep track? Because they were like, think about it. If you're running a multi-billion-dollar drug trade, that's like a corporation. So you must have like thousands of people working for you.
Yes.
Thousands.
Which he did, I'm sure.
Which are all bribing officials, doing all sorts of stuff. So they're like spending ridiculous amounts of money. And it would be impossible to keep track. It's all cash.
It's all cash.
Just flowing around. And then you have a whole other system that will be trying to launder it into the real system. Right. Which is another like really kind of interesting concept of like
money laundering?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. So I just found it so insane that you would, because he ended up being killed by the, what do you call it?
The police, right?
The police.
Yeah.
So, or the DEA or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is it all for?
Yeah.
Is it just to be the most powerful man in the world, or what is the purpose? Like, you half your money, you don't even know where it is.
Exactly. And also, you leave this world the way you came in.
What did that mean? By yourself?
With nothing.
Oh, God damn, Daniel.
Because like when that time comes, obviously if you have kids and stuff, they can inherit and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
But you yourself as an individual, you can't take anything with you.
Exactly.
When you're gone. So
exactly.
like amassing and hoarding all this wealth, yeah, you might have a nice lifestyle or whatever. But, I think when we're speaking of this stuff, I'm meaning like not just like, your neighbor that maybe has like a rental property. You know what I mean? I'm talking
of course.
like
We're talking about extreme wealth here.
Extreme wealth where it's like these people literally have more money than countries.
These people are buying iPhones for $190,000.
Yes, that is an issue.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but that is a huge issue.
So anyway, this man, that fascinated me. And I think it's beyond just money in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy to me that people will go to that extreme to just hoard this amount of money and wealth.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and when is it enough? Like when
it's
do you
not
get to
enough,
a point?
I guess.
Even with Pablo Escobar, it's like when did you get to a point where it's like, you know what? Hey, I'm done. I'm going to retire, live a very nice life.
Yeah, he probably could have just gone to a private island somewhere.
He could have, but I think people get addicted to it.
Yeah, but it's like, is it the money or is it the fame, the power?
I think it's
what
the power.
is it?
A lot of it's the power.
It's the power.
Yeah.
I think he's compensating for something.
What do you think?
Anyway.
What do you think it is? Opposite of big dick energy?
Exactly. So next story. Spanish activists vandalize super yacht in Ibiza.
Ibiza, ain't it, babes?
Believed to belong to billionaire Walmart heiress. Don't you love those words?
I love this whole thing. Everything about this article already has got my...
Spanish environmental activists spray painted a super yacht moored in Ibiza on Sunday. Yeah. Activists from the environmental group Futuro Vegetal, I don't know if I said that right, posted a video showing them standing in front. Well, that's pretty brave.
That is brave.
That's just, if there's one thing that is for sure, if you mess with rich people, you will probably there will be consequences.
Because they got deep pockets. They will sue your pants off and they can afford it.
They will put you in jail. They'll do whatever the fuck you know. So that's pretty brave to show the faces. And basically they're standing in front of this super yacht. And like, I guess a super yacht is just a giant yacht. Like,
yeah. So
oh God.
So a super yacht. Again, guys, I don't know too much about yachts. All I know is like,
well, you sound like you do.
I know. I was about to go into a whole yachtism. Okay. But like you have the regular kind of yachts, which are also fucking expensive. Yeah. But the super yachts are like literally the
millions of dollars.
Like I think even hundreds of millions.
Oh my God. Okay. Call me. Maybe I'm, just a little girl from the country.
God damn you, a country bum.
But what is this fascination with yachts? I don't care. Like, yes, it's kind of nice. What are you looking at? How much is a super yacht? Oh.
Here we go. What's the average price of a super yacht?
Oh. You guys, the average price of a super yacht, which with a top speed of 25 knots and 50 crew members, should cost around $275 million.
There you go. That's a super yacht. So now let's continue on with what they did to this super yacht.
I'm like actually shook. Anyways, so they basically, this environmental group, they vandalized it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say because it's similar. I think the cost is like kind of like if you buy a plane, like a private jet. Private jets are like hundreds of millions,
right?
I think, too, or like up there,
Oh my God, it's literally so stupid.
Not even considering operating costs. But anyway, continue.
So the banner, they held a banner that said, "You consume, others suffer."
Yeah.
And then they sprayed the vessel with red and black paint. And then activists in the video said the richest 1% of the world population pollutes more than the poorest 50%. They're condemning us to a future of pain, misery, and desolation. They're destroying our planet, compromising the habitability of the land and everything to lead to a standard of living that goes beyond the limits of reason.
Which is true.
I mean,
because the thing is, honestly, you can still live a very, very nice life without
a super yacht.
Nobody needs a super yacht.
Nobody needs a super yacht. Are they even happy? Like, this is the thing. They are not that happy, these people. Okay? Nobody needs a super yacht. Fucking, why do you need a super yacht? Why do you need a yacht? Rent a yacht.
Exactly. But this is the crazy thing. It's like this excess, like having, a super yacht, private jet, all of this stuff. It's like, if you just live like a relatively normal life and just like, okay, maybe you fly and you happen to fly first class, but you still take the plane with everyone else.
Yes.
You travel, maybe you have a nice car. Maybe you thinking you, goddamn, like there's only so many days of the year, and I will never understand.
And you know what kills me is that so we don't know for sure if this was owned by Walmart Heiress.
Yeah.
But an heiress is like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's someone that inherited
they're the heir to
the income.
Yeah.
So fuck you. Like, these people, people always like, oh, like they worked hard for the money. This bitch didn't. Mm-hmm. You just inherited money. This is another fucked up thing. It's like these billionaires can just like literally take their billions of dollars and then just give it to their kids, and their kids don't have to do shit all. Mm-hmm. And then they just like wreak havoc on the environment. They do all this bullshit while everyone else that works much harder than them suffers.
Well, and I hate that narrative as well when people say, oh, like, because a lot of people are like, oh, you're just jealous, or you're just this. Like, these people worked really, really hard. They took really big risks to get to where they are. And while some of that might be true, maybe they did work hard. Maybe they did take some big risks, which is possible. But again, like, let's not kid ourselves, guys. There's 24 hours in a day.
I knew you'd say that.
I know that, like, literally, this is like one of my favorite sayings, but the maximum time that you can put into a day is probably like maybe 14 hours, 15 hours. And that's even pushing it, because you will burn out. So it's like,
and we know for a fact that that's not even what's happening.
Exactly. And the sad thing is, and the reality of anyone, and I can't remember, I think it was a professor or somebody that I saw on TikTok. They were just doing videos about this exact topic. And they were saying that there is really not a single person that's a billionaire, that kind of level of wealth, maybe millionaires, I don't know, but there is not a single billionaire that got there without some form of exploitation of other individuals, be that employees at the company. They might argue, oh, they started the company and they earned all this money. But if they started a successful company and they became a billionaire through that company, but all the other employees are just like regular everyday Joes, it's like, well, why are, obviously you're exploiting them. Because they're not reaping the rewards of your hugely successful company.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I hate that. I hate it so much when they're like, oh, they work so hard. And I'm like,
no, but we also know that's not true, because the reason why a lot of these rich people, you okay?
Yes.
The reason why a lot of these rich people are rich, we all know, is because of investing and putting money into the stock market or like they're shareholders of a company, or like, all these things.
Yeah.
None of those require active labor.
Yeah.
It just requires you to have money to make more money.
Exactly. Well, and that's just it, right? Like, I know there's possibilities. Like, if someone gave me $200 million today, I could spend it all. That it is feasible. But when you have that kind of money, to your point, it's easier to invest and do all of these things, which generally you're going to get more returns. So like, there's a correlation, and there's that saying that it takes money to make money.
Yes.
And to a big degree it does, like you you watch any
any video about how to, get wealthy, how to be financially independent. No video will not say, like, every video will say you have to invest.
Yeah.
They're never going to say you have to work 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
They always say you have to make your money make money for you.
Yes, that's exactly it.
So it's literally the opposite of the truth.
Yeah.
Because the entire point is that you don't work for that money actively.
Exactly. You want passive income. That's the biggest thing. They're always like passive income.
And the fucked up part is, which, is fine, I guess, if we were allowing this stuff. But then the fucked up part is, I know that in the US, they have different taxes. So like, you have income tax, right? So after you make, I don't know, up to over $100,000, you might get paid. You might have like a, what do you call it? Marginal tax rate of like 50%, which isn't the entire, people are so stupid. Yeah. They're always like, oh my God, I don't want to be taxed 50%. You're not being taxed 50% on the entire $100,000.
It's a progressive tax.
Exactly. Yeah. It's based on let's say first 30,000, you're not taxed or whatever. Yeah. First 50,000, you're taxed 20%. And then it's like, you're not being taxed 50%. You're not paying $50,000 in tax. Anyways. But so that's income tax.
Yeah.
But then they have a separate tax for I think it's capital gains.
Yeah, it's exactly
which
this.
is much lower.
So get this, guys. Again, we're not tax experts, right? But we're just saying.
Well, you're a little bit more of a financial expert than me.
Well, but like still with capital gains tax, at least the way that it works in Canada. So for example, let's just say me and Rose, we invest into some stocks, right? We're investing in some stocks and we put our money in there and we're like, we really like this company. Let's invest. We put like $5 in there and this stock goes viral.
Berserk.
We sell it at $100. So we're making $95 profit.
Right.
We only invested $5. So we're making a $95 profit. Well, in Canada, and I don't know what it is in other countries, but in Canada, and I think it's kind of similar in a lot of countries, for capital gains, you actually only have to pay tax on 50%. So what that means is you don't pay tax on the whole $95. You pay tax on 50% of $95, and then your tax will be whatever your bracket is that you're in,
right? Interesting.
Whatever that is. So you get 50% of your return. So
tax free.
Exactly. So let's just pretend you make it easy. Rose makes $100 on her stocks that she sells. $50 of that she gets tax free. Right. And then the other 50 is taxed. And then you'd pay like, I don't know, 30% or whatever your tax rate is. Right. Then you would get that part taxed.
Is that the part that's taxed, does that count as like your income tax?
Yeah, it kind of goes towards your income. Yeah. So well, and there's a couple little, like I'm oversimplifying things, but the motto is you get 50% of what your capital gain was tax free.
God damn. Yeah. Well, in the U.S., let's see how it is in the U.S. because I think it might be worse in the U.S. Capital gains tax is a tax on the profit. Blah, blah, blah. Yep. Capital gains tax rate is 0%, 15%, or 20% on most assets held for longer than a year. So, and then it says capital gains taxes on assets held for a year or less correspond to ordinary income tax brackets. So if you hold it for longer than a year, it's only 0, 15, or 20. Whereas when it comes to ordinary income tax, the highest it can go to is 37%. Yeah.
Well, this is where there's an issue, right? Because what they're saying here is like the people that are working their Monday to Friday jobs and they're getting a salary, they're getting taxed 100% on that salary. Doesn't matter. They're getting that salary is getting taxed. Versus if I'm an investor and I have all my money, let's just say I'm a really wealthy investor. I'm not working. All of my money is in stocks and portfolio and doing all kinds of shit. And my income is all coming from capital gains. And let's say I make $200,000 a year from capital gains. I only have to pay tax on $100,000 of it.
Yep. And so that's in Canada.
Exactly. And that's where there's issues where it's like, there needs to be a little bit of reform there whereby why is it not being, if it's income and you're earning money from it, why is it not fully taxed?
Yeah, especially when you're not actually doing anything.
Exactly. Like that part makes no sense. Justify it to me. It's because the individuals making up the tax legislation are the wealthy. That's
exactly what it is. Okay. It is the same people that make the rules are the ones that will gain the benefits from the rules.
And people will always argue, well, they'll be like, well, Daniel, you own shares and you benefit from this. And I'm like, yeah. I do. But my stock portfolio is a fraction of what some of these people have. So.
Yeah, but that's also like that means that we actually believe what we're saying because I also have like, some money investing. Yeah. So of course it would be in my benefit to not be taxed the full amount.
Of course.
I just think as a system, as a whole, it shouldn't be like that.
Any income you're earning, regardless, it should be taxed.
Yes.
You shouldn't get a special.
And we know. Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. I was gonna say, well, you shouldn't get like a special like tax break just because, especially when we're talking about like people getting like, earning, $200 million from like the sale of something. Yeah. Right. And it's like, oh, well, you're only going to get capital gains tax if you're only going to get taxed 50% of that income. It's like,
why would you work? You know what I mean? Like, why would you work then?
Exactly.
Why would you put, if you're already rich, why would you get a job if you can just invest money and be taxed less? Yeah. And this is why like all these billionaires and all these rich people, they don't actually pay that much in tax. Yeah. Well, they also have, a lot of loopholes. They hire the best accountants and lawyers.
The interesting thing, because a lot of people will argue that with you and they'll say, well, they pay on a proportion of their, not proportion, they pay
their income tax.
The amount that they pay in dollar terms, like for example, a billionaire, the amount that they pay in dollar terms is more than I pay.
I don't give a shit what the amount is in dollar terms.
But the percentage.
Why is everyone else judged by percentage?
Exactly. The percentage is lower.
Yeah. Everyone else is based on percentage. So why is yours not percentage, bitch?
Exactly.
Anyway, so this story is interesting.
Oh, God dang.
So a true crime YouTuber charged viewers $3. Well, okay, we'll get to that. Okay, charged viewers to see autopsy photos of a murdered 11-year-old boy.
First of all, so many questions. Yeah.
Let me get into the story. So basically a YouTuber who is a true crime YouTuber somehow obtained photos of the body of this 11-year-old boy that was murdered. I remember this story by his stepmother. His name is Gannon. And somehow she got these photos and then she put it behind a paywall. Basically, she obtained the photos and then posted a video about them on her Patreon account where people would pay $3 to watch.
Oh, $3 sounds familiar.
Well, we fortunately do not have autopsy photos.
No.
And then so obviously this is getting a lot of backlash.
Which it would.
Which it should because like what are you doing? Like what are people doing? First of all, where and how are you getting these photos?
Yeah, and secondly, why are people paying to see this? This is an 11-year-old boy that was
so fucked up.
Tragically murdered by his stepmother, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And it's like that shit should not be aired. First of all, as well, actually, I think it's a crime in itself because if the person is underage, I thought that their identity and all sorts of things, it's like more confidential.
Maybe.
Again, I don't know the full.
I mean, it should be illegal to make money off of
someone's dead
autopsy.
Yeah.
Like that's messed up. I don't like what were you thinking?
So there's a couple things here. Number one, however the photos got leaked, that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Whoever gave this YouTuber the photos, that needs to be addressed. Number two, I feel like any profit that she made from this should be sent to the family. Not obviously the stepmom that killed the kid, but like, the grieving family. Like she shouldn't be profiting from this.
And I mean, who knows how many people pay for this, but this girl issued a statement on her YouTube channel, which has 89,000 subscribers. So she said, people have been very divided on how they feel. People are rotted inside. What are you talking about? Very divided.
Yeah.
So she says that she was hearing a lot from both sides. The reality of the situation is that different people feel differently about this. Some people genuinely think making a video including the autopsy photos is bad, and I respect their opinion. Okay, first of all, the photos were clearly not public. Okay, so somehow she obtained these. I'm assuming. Like, I don't think they were public.
Yeah.
So she obtained these somehow.
Yeah.
And so clearly the family does not want these out there in the ether.
But no one would you?
Yeah, of course not. Like, that's so fucked up.
Yeah. And then for having someone else that's like not even part of your family profiting from this.
Oh, it's so messed up.
Ugh.
So she says, some people genuinely believe that making a video, including the autopsy photos, is bad. And I respect their opinion and feelings. I don't like this person.
No.
And then she says, it's just... And then she said others thought the photos were interesting and informative and were able to view it all in a more scientific, detached way.
Doesn't matter. You could have you don't have to have the actual, you know what? Maybe you found information about the autopsy. So have diagrams and shit. You don't have to have the person's actual photos.
And also, are you in fucking forensic studies?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, go to college and study forensics if this is what you want to look at. Okay. This is not, no. And then she's like, it's just one of those things that it depends on the person.
Then she goes to say she's not adamantly against taking the video down if people were truly unhappy with it.
Oh my God, I really hate her. Oh, her whole Patreon account has since been removed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She said she was charging the fee because she spent a lot of time and worked hard putting the video together. But I guarantee you, she was like, if you want to watch and see the autopsy photos, I have it on my Patreon.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like it's different. If you of course, we have a Patreon, we understand how it all works.
Yeah.
And you put exclusive content in there.
Yeah.
But we know why she put it behind a paywall, because she knew that people would want to see that.
Of course.
Because people are fucked up.
People are fucked up.
Yeah, and then actually somebody even said this. I think this is the dad. Scientifically, they could have used body diagrams.
Like what I was saying.
Yeah, that the autopsy also included. So she had access to that. Instead of putting out Gannon's just completely broken body. Oh, God, that reflects the depravity and horror that he had to live through and suffered. I don't understand people, okay? What were you thinking? And who are the people paying for this?
That's another thing, too. It's
it's so messed up.
It's messed up on many levels.
God, just imagine if this was your child, your brother, your sister, your mom,
or yourself.
What the fuck? Okay. Oh God, it's so messed up. I feel like this is a problem in the true crime world, because I feel like people obviously I consume this content, but sometimes
I was gonna say this is your favorite content to consume.
I know, but it's kind of problematic because I feel like it really fucks up with your brain, because the fact that people think this is like okay to do and pay for, it's like people forget that these are real people.
I think it's because like you start to watch a few of them, and I did this before when I used to watch a lot of forensic files, and you start to feel detached, I guess.
Yeah.
And it becomes more like it's not real. Like you think about it, you're like, oh, this is fascinating, and it becomes almost like it's like a movie kind of, where you detach it from the actual real crime that took place.
Yes.
And you minimize like the feelings around it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I think the more true crime, Rose, that you watch and listen to, the more desensitized you get to it.
God damn. Well, I hope I never get to a place where I have to pay $3 to see an autopsy. So I don't even like seeing like photo. Yeah, I don't like seeing that anyway.
Yeah.
Like that's just so disturbing. Anyways, yeah, so maybe I should take a break from the true crime content.
I think you should. I get it. Like people are fascinated. Like, I mean, I watched the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary. Like I watch all that stuff too, but like I think you do have to sometimes take a break because you do become kind of desensitized.
I know. I need to live my life, you know?
You gotta live your life.
Okay, so final story. So have you heard about this? There was a Alabama woman named Carly Russell who basically went missing. Because she was reporting on this toddler that was like walking around, I think on a highway.
Yeah.
So Carly Russell, who vanished after stopping on the highway to help a lost child, returned home Saturday night, ending a mysterious disappearance that launched a 2-day statewide search for the 25-year-old nursing student. So basically what I heard was that essentially she went missing after she was like on the highway. First of all, on a highway, she saw a small child in a diaper that was lost and wandering along the side of the highway, or the freeway as the Americans call it.
Yeah.
And then so she like stopped, she like called the police or something and reported, this small child.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she vanished. The toddler was gone. She was gone.
What the fuck?
And then I guess there was like a huge search for her. Yeah. And luckily she returned to her home on foot on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So basically, she checked on the child, called her brother's girlfriend, who heard Russell ask the child without a response if they were okay, followed by her suddenly screaming, then the sound of the interstate. Can you imagine?
No.
Oh my God. When officers arrived on the scene, there were no signs of Russell or a child, but they found her running car, wig, phone, and purse containing her Apple Watch and AirPods at the scene. Her return home ended a 2-day statewide search that caught national attention. Oh,
this is crazy.
This must be, I mean, I don't know if there's any more information. I think right now they're just kind of letting her, come back home.
Yeah.
And just like be with the family. So, oh my God, it says Russell's boyfriend released a statement on Instagram saying she was fighting for her life for 48 hours and mentioning a kidnapper. Police have not confirmed whether they believe a kidnapper was involved. Well, I think it's kind of fucking obvious.
I think it does sound like there probably would be something going on here because she was on the phone to her brother, she was screaming, all this other shit. Like she left her car unattended with her iPad or iPhone
on a highway.
Like it's just, there's too many
So it
things.
must have been a decoy. Is it a decoy or like a way to get someone?
Yeah.
Like having a toddler there. They knew people were going to stop.
They were trying to lure her in.
My God. So now people are saying now we can't even stop to help a little child on the highway.
Oh God, that's so sad.
That is messed up. Now we have this fear. It's like, imagine seeing a toddler walking around. Of course you're going to want to help. That's insane.
I know. It's kind of scary.
That's scary because it's like, we have to be careful about these things. And it's like, we don't want to be skeptical of that situation.
Oh, for sure.
But, maybe next time just stay in the car and call the police.
Call for help, which is sad. Because especially if it's a little child that's running around.
Oh God, and who's using a child to fucking kidnap people? I wonder how she escaped. I want to know more information.
I'm sure. I wonder if they'll release a statement later.
I think they will. It says it's unknown where Russell had been after she vanished, and police have yet to release further details surrounding her disappearance. They said that they were able to take an initial statement, and the details of that statement are part of the ongoing. So yeah, they're probably keeping things on the down low.
Yeah,
because they probably want to do more investigation and figure out more things. But holy shit, motherfucker. Thank God she returned.
Yeah.
I want to know all the details.
Like, how did she escape? What was going on? Who were they holding her hostage? Like,
oh God.
So many questions.
Well,
like,
this is what they say also about like, they say, well, especially in more dangerous countries, they say like, don't stop to help someone.
Oh, 100%. There's a few things. Like I saw this like this TV show. I'm really just not doing a good job telling the story.
Okay, Daniel.
No, but I watched this TV show and it was like there was this bus driver and it was in like Nairobi or somewhere. It was like and they were driving around. There was like a little bit of a rougher area of town.
Right.
And the two guys that were driving the bus, the one guy was like, don't stop here. Like,
sure.
Even though they were like a bus, but he's like, but the bus system's different than it is here. So anyway, the guys were going to drive straight through and this like woman came over and was like trying to flag them down. Beautiful woman, you know? And so they went and he's like, come on. He's like, I have to pick her up. Like she needs a ride. So he goes to stop and right away a car full of gunmen pulls in front of it. They all jump into the bus and start stealing everyone's jewelry and shit. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because they used her as a decoy. Or like
motherfucker, he shouldn't have stopped.
I know. And this is why it's really sad. Like they say like, depending on where you are, obviously but if you are driving around a more like kind of rougher area or everything like this, it's like, just don't.
Oh God, that's so sad though, because like, what if someone really needed help?
I know.
And it's like, you know, because there's stories where, you know, someone gets kidnapped or, you know, they were about to be killed and then they like somehow survive and then they like get to the highway and they're looking all kinds of a mess because they're, you know, they've been beat up or whatever.
Like bleeding
and
from the
people,
mouth.
And people like are not helping. And then you can't even blame people because like a part of you is like, is this some sort of, you know, plan to kidnap me? Am I going to get killed? Am I going to be? So I think it's, you know, it's sad.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like,
because it's hard. Like if you were just driving and all of a sudden someone came out of the bushes covered in blood.
Yes.
You would be like,
It's like, we don't know if there's this, you know, the perpetrator around you. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
So I don't want to blame people for not stopping because, you know, that's kind of scary. But also I think it's brave to stop. God, I don't know.
God damn.
Would you stop, Daniel?
I don't know, because like I'm thinking back to my youth and like I did a weird, like not weird shit, but like me and my friend used to like sometimes pick up hitchhikers and like
you picked up hitchhikers?
Yeah, back in the day.
Damn, Daniel, why you be doing such a thing?
Because that'd be adventurous. And met some really cool people, but like
oh my God, have you ever hitchhiked?
Like, I've never have I hitchhiked? No, I don't think so.
Oh my God. You know, it was like a big thing back in the day. Yeah. I don't think it's as big anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Well, because now, especially with all these serial killers and all the information we know, and you know they'd be fucking picking up hitchhikers.
Well, this is the thing. Not always, but like, especially like serial killers.
Yeah.
They typically they have a certain demographic that they go for, and typically it's like more vulnerable people.
It's usually like sex workers or something.
Yeah, sex workers is a big one. Like sex work, because you're like, obviously it sucks to be in that situation where you're doing sex work, but like not, you know, and you're just basically putting yourself in a more dangerous situation.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But in some countries, if it's like legalized sex work,
then it's a lot safer. That's why they should legalize it.
He's like, whereas like right now, if I decided I wanted to prostitute my body here in Calgary, I would have to just jump into cars with randoms.
Exactly. It's not, that's why they need to legalize it, because it's so dangerous for the sex workers.
Yeah.
Because when it's legalized, there's safety measures in place. Anyway, wow, we just got onto a different topic. Well, and I remember, like, I can't remember where I was talking to someone, and it was somewhere in Europe. And there was this girl that was saying, and in Europe, I feel like hitchhiking is very common, or at least it was.
Yeah.
People would just hitchhike all the time, and it's not as dangerous in Europe for some reason. And I think partially because people are just more close together.
There's more people around.
There's just more people around. And there's not as many like crazy highways, maybe.
And think about it too. It does make sense because like in Europe, obviously there's some places where it's more secluded and stuff, but like think about like North America, like Canada and the US. Like literally
there is a lot of space to hide some dead bodies.
Exactly. You can get on a fucking highway and you can disappear.
Oh God damn, Daniel. Could that be scary as hell?
That is actually really scary.
But yeah, I remember this girl, she was like, yeah, I just hitchhiked. She lived in one town and she like worked in another town that was like maybe an hour drive, maybe a little bit less. And she said she doesn't have a car. She just hitchhikes to work and back every time she works. God. I was like, girl, I was like, you hitchhike to work every time? Like, she's like, yeah, it's fine. I never have issues. You never have issues?
You're like,
I was so confused. But she was very like, you know, like, oh, I just hitchhike. Oh, you should try it. It's great. I'm like, nope.
Like, that's a hard pass on that one.
I just like, it's so, I'm sure most of the time it's fine. but you just never know. You're in a stranger's motherfucking car.
You are putting yourself in a more vulnerable
Absolutely,
situation.
especially as a woman. She was a woman as well, like a young woman.
I know I hate to say it, but like, yeah, like Rose, if you jumped in a vehicle, the chance of something happening to you versus me is a lot higher, you know?
God damn, they don't know I can throw a punch.
That's true.
God damn. You know what? I saw a video on TikTok the other day, and it was this like woman. I don't know who she was, but she was like an older woman, and she was saying, because you know, I always talk about how I should learn how to ski or snowboard.
Yes.
But then I always get these random little signs that tell me don't do it, and this was one of those signs. And she was like, I don't ski because I find normal life dangerous enough. There are enough dangers in regular life. And whoever thought it was a good idea to put 2 wooden sticks on our feet and plummet down a mountain. And she's like, I know so many people that get into these crazy skiing accidents, and now I have a fear of skiing.
So you're not going to take lessons with me this year?
I don't know. Like, a part of me wants to, but then every time I talk to somebody about snowboarding, they're like, yeah, it's wonderful. I like broke my back.
God damn.
And like, you know, we're not 21 anymore. I can't bounce back as easily as before.
It sucks because now if like I'm scared, like if I fell off something and like busted my hip, it's like I'm out for a while.
When's the last time you fell off something and busted a hip?
Well, it hasn't happened, but like if it did.
Well, I think because we exercise and do some strength training, we are a little bit less vulnerable to.
True.
Yeah, so that's why it's important. The older you get, the more important it is to keep exercising.
Keep up with the fitness.
Building your muscles, because that is one of the key things, especially your legs. Like people falling, people having weak legs. This is a huge, huge problem.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, another important thing is like, building that muscle, and you don't have to be going to the gym like all the time,
but just like overall exercise.
Because like even I thought about this the other day, and like knock on wood, like I'm also quite lucky, but like I don't really have like, you hear about people even our age that like, oh, well, my back is so sore, my back fucking hurts, and like occasionally I might get a little bit sore, but like most of the time it's like I feel okay.
You're just made of steel, Dan. You got no issues.
But I also do a lot of strength training, and I have a lot of strong muscles.
But
in my back.
I also don't. I don't have back pain or anything like this.
Like occasionally if I like pull my back out or something, which is like very rare, but like if that happened, then of course.
Yes.
Like on my regular day to day, or if I'm like sitting in a weird position for a while, then my back will like obviously hurt.
Yeah.
But like my day to day, like not really.
Yes, this is why it's important, guys. Keep up the fitness. Okay. It is very important.
Gotta do that shit, Rose.
I even went to the gym today after all that drinking we did yesterday.
Speak for yourself.
And on that positive note, that brings us to the end. I don't think I have any more stories.
Our conclusion to this episode.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. There was a lot of shit talking of rich people.
Yes, there
Hope you love that.
Yeah.
Let us know down below what your thoughts are. Would you buy a Birkin given the opportunity?
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, guys, make sure you check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/the SaVeg podcast. And you get every episode ad-free, earlier than everybody else, and you get bonus content every single month. And we need to do July soon.
I know.
Lord Jesus. Let's not talk about it right now.
We need to do July. We need to do August. We need to do like 4 other episodes for August.
Okay, we need to have this discussion after we get off this.
Oh, goddamn.
And make sure
you subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. Show us some love in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends and family. And whatever podcast platform, if you're listening to us on a podcast platform, don't forget to hit that follow button, because then you'll get updated as soon as new content goes out on the public platform. And also, guys, check out we have a TikTok page. We got Instagram.
Yes,
we got
follow
all
us
that
on those pages.
Stuff. Yeah.
All the stuff.
Got all the stuff.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.